In example 4, we found probabilities of z being less than some value, and we just looked them up in the table. For example 5, we need to find probabilities that z is greater than a couple of values here. Now we're going to use our tables or our Excel in exactly the same fashion, but we have an extra step if it's greater than. Remember that the area under the whole normal curve is 1. So we're going to keep that in mind. The area under the whole normal curve is 1. So I am going to look up 1.6 on my standard normal table. I'm going to get that answer, and that's actually the probability that z is less than 1.6 that I'm going to get. So I'm going to go to my table, look up 1.60. So I need to go to the positive z's here. So here's 1.6, and 0 will be this first one. So the probability that z is less than 1.60 is 0.9452. So I need to take 0.9452 and subtract it from our total area of the curve 1 to get the probability that z is greater than 1.6. So if we stick that into our calculator, we get 0.0458. So the probability that z is greater than 1.6 is 0.0458. Now let's do the same thing for our second probability. Our second probability was the probability that z is greater than negative 1.02. Exactly the same process, but just to be different, let's do this one with Excel. So let's recall from last time, if we wanted to use Excel, we're going to put equal norm.s.dist, and it was negative 1.02 and the word true. And we get 0.153864. Now remember again that we have to subtract that from 1 to get the probability of the greater than, and that is 0.846136. So this is the probability that z is greater than negative 1.02. So notice, so far, if we have a probability that z is less than something, we can just look it up on the table or look it up in Excel. If we have the probability that z is greater than something, we have to look it up on the table or Excel and subtract that number from 1.